Believe it or not, stupid arguments happen all the time on the internet. And of course, or else I wouldn't be talking about it, plenty of those stupid arguments have to do with my favorite controversial video game series, Sonic the Hedgehog. People will debate for hours on end what the correct color of Sonic's arms are, whether Sonic Adventure or Sonic Adventure 2 is a less sucky game, or as we'll be talking about today, the correct pronunciation of a certain level from Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I'm Lemon Cake Studios, let's jump right into it. Okay, judging by my audience demographics, it's probably been a while since you all have done anything like this, but it's time to break out the old grammar textbook and do some phonetical analyzing. First, let's break this word up into its individual syllables and figure out what each is supposed to sound like, at least according to the rules of proper English. Hydrocity. I think we can all agree on the proper pronunciation of the beginning and end of this word. Hy, that says hi, and city, obviously city. Where the discrepancies show up, though, is in the pronunciation of that pesky second syllable, dro. Hydrocity or hydrocity. After doing some research into the proper English pronunciation of the letter O, here are some of the rules that I found. Typically, O will say aw, also called its short sound, when it's found in short words. Hot, dog, lost, blog, one-syllable words like that. However, it'll also make the short sound in two-syllable words as long as it's the last vowel sound of the first syllable. Modern, concert, Sonic, you get the picture. But Hydrocity doesn't fall into any of those categories. It's a four-syllable word, and dro is on the second syllable, not the first. So that's already seemingly a point toward the Hydrocity crowd. Well, it kind of is, but it also goes one step further. One detail you might have noticed that I haven't already mentioned is that Hydrocity is a compound word, meaning that at its core, it's really just two separate words that someone deleted the space in between to make a new one. This can be seen in cases like doghouse, townhouse, superhighway, sunshine. And following this line of thinking, that rule would also seemingly apply to Hydrocity. After splitting it up, we're left with two pretty familiar words. Hydro, referring to water, and city, referring to, well, a city. And contextually, that makes perfect sense. Hydrocity is literally a water level that takes place in an old abandoned civilization. Looking at the name of the level in that light, it begs the question, what the heck is a hydrocity? None of the possible answers make any sense. And another knock against the hydrocity pronunciation is I wasn't able to find any specific grammar rules that validate O making the aw sound in that kind of word. But I recommend you take that conclusion with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, I'm not a professional English teacher, and so I don't have an airtight knowledge of all the exceptions and fine print details that might validate the hydrocity claim. The statement I made is based on the facts that I gathered in my research, but if there's something missing or some rule that I'm unaware of, please make sure to comment down below and let me know. But anyway, back to the video. If Hydrocity is both the correct and seemingly obvious way to pronounce this word, that begs the question, how did we get to this split opinion situation that we're in today? Well, while there's no way of knowing for sure, I have a couple hypotheses. First, maybe it has something to do with the age of the people who played this level back when Sonic 3 first came out. Assuming its biggest audience back then was kids who hadn't yet finished 6th grade, it's fair to assume that they simply hadn't been taught the grammar rules that we just discussed. They would have no way of knowing that hydrocity was technically the wrong way of going about it. Or maybe they just misread the spelling of the word in the first place. I mean, the level's title card only flashes on screen for a pretty brief moment, and on top of that, I wouldn't blame you for mistaking that O for an A back on the fuzzy box TVs of 1994.
Yo, I actually found one.
Or maybe, just maybe, they already knew the rules of proper English pronunciation, they knew exactly how it was spelled, and they just didn't care. Maybe they thought to themselves, you know what? Hydrocity sounds cooler. And that was it. And honestly, even after everything I've just said in this video, I still find myself drawn to that crowd. At the end of the day, it might be incorrect according to the grammar rules of proper English, but I mean, doesn't hydrocity just roll right off the tongue? It's such a mysterious and cool sounding name, and it's what I've associated with this level for as long as I can remember. Yeah, I've been trying to push aside my bias for this entire video, but I might as well confess, hydrocity is my preferred pronunciation. Sure, those who say Hydrocity can claim that they technically have correctness on their side, but I'm not gonna fault you if you keep calling it the same thing you've called it your entire life.